Now I'm ready. Hi, I'm way too chipper. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren. I'm so happy you guys are here. Today I'm going to be doing a little get ready with me while I talk about different topics and questions that you guys might be having. I didn't do like a question box or ask people anything. I'm just gonna be talking about what people might want to know about me, especially because this is a newer channel and people probably have a lot of questions. So let's just get right into it. So I've already washed my face, so I'm just going to be doing a skincare base before I get ready. To be honest, I normally don't do makeup most days. Growing up, like, I didn't really wear makeup at all, but this year I've been trying to get more into it. Please don't roast me for any of my makeup skills. I'm trying to get better at it. It's still very simple and I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but we're trying, and that's all that matters, right? So I'm just going to start with some skincare basics. To start, let's just do like very basic facts about me. So my name's Lauren, obviously. I'm 22 years old. I live in Utah, which I actually really do like, even though it is kind of a little bit expensive and it's getting pretty crowded, I would say. But overall, I do really like it and I think it's really pretty, and I like the seasons and the weather here. I am married, which, you know, if you're putting two and two together, she's 22 and she lives in Utah, so yeah, it checks out. But I am married, so that's who I live with, is I live with my husband, and I really love it, and it's been great. And we've actually been married for, we just hit about a year and a half, and I met him when I was 18 and we dated for about 2.5 to 3 years before we got married. So it has just been great. And yeah, let's see, currently I actually live in an apartment in my grandpa's basement. So kind of a little more backstory on that is, really fast, I'm gonna spray this. Also, I always feel like people will spray stuff, like in TikToks, they'll spray stuff and talk during it. I'm not gonna do that. I do not want this in my mouth. But they'll be like spraying stuff and they'll be like, anyways, blah 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 blah. No. Anyways, so we live in an apartment in my we live in a basement apartment in my grandpa's house. So when we first got married, we lived in student housing because I was finishing up my last year of college, and so that was great. And then we were basically just looking to move anywhere, like we weren't really tied down to anything, and so we were pretty much open. And then my grandpa, actually, were talking with him, and he has a basement apartment and no one was going to be living in it, and he was talking to us and he was saying, hey, like, if you want really cheap rent and you guys want to live down there, like, I'd love to have you guys down there and you guys can kind of keep an eye on me. Because he lives alone and it's just kind of nice for him to have some company. So we decided to do that. So it's actually been great. We've only been here for about a month and a half, but it's been super nice, and he is still very like active on his own, so we don't really have to do that much for him, and he can still like drive himself and everything. But I'll like make extra of meals, and so we'll like feed him, and Hiram will help him with some of his home projects that he likes to do, and then we can just have like cheaper rent, which is nice because one of mine and Hiram's goals in the future is to be able to buy a house, which is so expensive in today's day and age. So any help that we can get is great. So that's kind of just a little bit about me. I've talked about this in a lot of my last videos, but I'm a recent graduate. I just finished college like about 1 to 2 months ago, so I'm still trying to figure that out. Maybe that's why I've been talking about it so much, is because I'm like, don't know what I'm doing. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I do have a current part-time job that I'm doing, and I'm looking for a full-time role right now. So that's kind of what I've been on the lookout for. And yeah, that's kind of just like a little bit about me. Very simple. Now I kind of want to get into a little bit more of like who I am personally. Maybe not just more of like facts about myself, because that's kind of boring and I don't want you guys to be like asleep on the couch and only have my mom left watching this. So let's get into more like, I don't know, unique things about me. I don't even know if you could say unique, but so to start off, I actually grew up in Montana, so I was more raised there, and I kind of identify with that a little bit more sometimes than being raised in Utah, because I moved to Utah when I was a freshman in high school. And so I was in Montana for a lot of my like defining years, I guess you could say, and it was a really tiny town and I knew everyone there. And so to move from such a small, tiny rural community to like giant Utah community, it was definitely a weird and hard transition for me, especially as a freshman in high school. I feel like that's like your most like insecure time, honestly. And so that was like a really hard transition for me, and I am glad we moved to Utah, and I really like it here, and I feel like I learned and grew a ton here, and it was overall very beneficial for me. But yeah, that was definitely very difficult. Some of my favorite things to do, should I be like looking in the viewfinder do my makeup, or is that like too up close and personal? I don't know. I'm too lazy to go grab another mirror, so we're gonna do this. But some of my favorite things to do mostly have to do with art. So of course, you know, I love like doing video stuff and video editing, which is why I'm doing YouTube, but I also love photography. I love to cook and to bake. I love to paint and to draw. I've recently gotten into crocheting, and I'm learning how to quilt. I love anything with fashion and interior design. So basically anything where I can be like creative and artistic, I really love. Also, update on the lash serum from last time. I swear it's not doing anything. I thought it was, it's not. Also, I need to grab a mirror. I'm gonna grab that one. Some more things about me. My favorite season is fall. I love the weather, and I absolutely love Halloween time. I think it is so fun, and I don't know why. I just think like something about Halloween to me is so special. Which is just like so weird, because I feel like Halloween for most people, they're kind of like, okay, like I don't know, I kind of force all my friends to become Halloween people with me, because I'm like, we need to have a Halloween party and everyone needs to dress up and all this kind of stuff. And never have I once during Halloween looked good though. I always like to choose the ugliest Halloween costumes, especially with Hiram. Like we do partners costumes, and we've always, like I always make us dress up as like just the crustiest things, and I love it so much. There's just something about just like putting on like the crustiest outfit and having like a character, and it is just like so funny to like act out and just like be someone who you normally would never get to be, and it just makes it so much funnier. All right, let's do some rapid facts about me. Sushi is my favorite food. I am terrified of frogs. I think they're disgusting, and this has really started once I saw a video of a frog jumping in a kid's mouth, and ever since then I've just been like terrified of it. I have 5 siblings, so I'm from a pretty big family. Well, actually a really big family. And I'm the 4th oldest of them. So 4 girls, 2 boys. Let's see, my dad is a doctor, my mom's an occupational therapist assistant. So they both went the medical route, and I, out of all of the college careers, the ones that I knew I never wanted to do is medical. So sorry, mom and dad. Disappointment. But that just was something that I never really wanted to do. And they were totally fine with that. They didn't care. My favorite show that I like to watch is Modern Family. I get really into that show. It's definitely one of my favorites. I just feel like their humor on there is my exact type of humor. I really like it, and it makes me laugh super hard every time. And the families on there are just kind of crazy, which remind me of my own family, so I feel like I fit right in. Also, I've just recently got a lip liner for Christmas, and I've started using it, and I really like it. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it right, but I'm pretending like I am. So another fun fact about me is that I sleep with socks on every single night, and I will not apologize for it. I know people get a lot of hate for that, but I just genuinely cannot sleep without them. And people always feel shocked when I say this, but like my feet will sweat if I don't wear socks, which seems counterintuitive, but that's just how it is. And so I need the socks on so that my feet don't sweat. And I've just slept with socks on since I was a baby, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I don't overline my lips at all, even though my lips could be overlined because they're on like the smaller side. But that's just not something I think I could pull off, especially with my limited knowledge. Another thing about me is I am a huge reader. Like I will read like no one's business. The last book I finished was called All of Us Are Villains, and I'm on the 2nd book right now. And yeah, my reading goal for this year is 24 books. So I was thinking, you know, 2 books a month, easy peasy. But it's halfway through February, and I'm already on 9 books, so I think I will blow that goal out of the water. I will say, with reading though, I have this huge issue of starting a book at like 9 p.m. being like, I'll just read before bed, and then I'll start reading, and then I genuinely cannot put the book down, and then I will read until 3 or 4 in the morning, and it is genuinely a problem. To like, it will be 1 in the morning, I'm like, okay, I need to, like, once this chapter ends, I'll put the book down, and then we'll get to the next chapter. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to find out what happens, and that will just continue for hours, and then I'll go to bed at 4 a.m. and then my like sleep schedule is just ruined for weeks. So it's actually a problem that I'm trying to work on, but that's when you know I'm a true book person, because I have no control over it. And I'll do it again, and I'll probably read tonight at 9 p.m. again. So anyways, all right. Anyways, this is the finished makeup look. This color is always really intense when I put it on, and sometimes it scares me, but honestly, because it's just the e.l.f. makeup, it honestly fades fast. So like after an hour or two, a lot of the color is gone, especially if you're like eating or drinking something, so I tend to not worry about it. Let me look up other questions you guys might want to know. Let's just do like rapid fire questions. Are you better at talking or listening? I would definitely say listening. I'm not a huge talker. A lot of times with my YouTube videos, I have to be in the mood to talk, which is sometimes why I won't film. Like, I only will film on specific days. I won't film throughout the week because sometimes I just don't feel like talking. What type of music do you prefer? I honestly like a lot of everything. I don't listen to a lot of country or maybe a lot of like rap. I do listen to a few rap songs, but not much, but I genuinely do like a lot of everything. I like indie, I like classical music. I listen to a lot of classical music. I like modern music, honestly anything. What was your first job? My first job, I worked at a call center where I would call people and ask them if they wanted to take surveys. And you can imagine how people reacted to that, so. Let's see. What was the best vacation you ever had? I actually went to Australia recently, and that was the coolest like vacation of my entire life. It was amazing. I actually have like a vlog of it on my channel. It's not necessarily a vlog style because I just took it on my camcorder and like put all the video shots together to music, but I really liked that trip. I thought that was way fun. What is the next place on your travel bucket? Oh my gosh. What is the next place on your travel bucket list? I would say one that's like more doable in the next like year or two. I really want to go to New York. That's always been like a goal of mine, especially at Christmas time, which of course is when they jack up the prices for everything. But New York, and then just another one in general. I've always wanted to go to Europe and just see a bunch of countries there. So those are probably the two biggest ones. What is your favorite type of movie genre? My favorite type is a good rom-com. I just think they're so funny, especially the old classic ones like 10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, The Proposal, things like that. Those are my favorite. I just think they're so funny, cheesy, classic. Like, I just love them. What is your favorite song? Oh, my absolute favorite song, that and it's been this way for years, is What's Up by 4 Non Blondes. A lot of people, when I say that, they're like, oh, I've never heard it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you've heard it. Like, a lot of people just don't recognize the title. But yeah, this song is so good, and it's just like, it never fails to make me feel better. Are you an introvert or extrovert? Very much an introvert. I don't really talk a ton. The only way I really open up is maybe if it's like a small group of people that I'm really close with, and even then it's like hit or miss. I know that was something that like my parents struggled with when I was growing up, was that I just very much kept to myself and I didn't open up a ton, and I think that just kind of concerned them. But honestly, I've just always been that way, where sometimes I just don't feel like I need to say things unless it's like feels super important. And I don't know, I just, if it doesn't feel like I need to say something, I don't say it. And I'm completely fine to be in my own company a lot of the time, and I'm just very introverted to my core. And I definitely need a lot of time to recharge after hanging out with people. What did I want to be when I grew up as a kid? I wanted to be a bunch of different things, but the thing I wanted to be the most was I wanted to be a flight attendant, because I read about that in a book and how they got to travel the world, and so I really wanted to be that as a kid, which is actually funny now because I actually am really scared to be on planes. So I definitely don't want to be that now. That's not something I would want to be. But as a kid, I really romanticized it, and I thought it would just be the best job ever. What was a weird fear you had as a kid? Oh my gosh, this one used to terrify me. But what was it? Was it like Ripley's Believe, or some book like that had said something about how a snake had, like, some giant snake had crawled up through a toilet system, plumbing system. And I remember reading that as a kid and being absolutely terrified. And so I was so terrified to go to the bathroom, especially at night, because I was so worried that a snake would be in the toilet. And so even with like the lights on, but I was just worried that I would sit down and that a snake would like go and like bite me on the butt. And so I would a lot of times hover when I pee because I was so worried about that. Isn't that so stupid? But actually though, I just saw a video on Instagram where this pregnant lady, she went, and it was dark, and she went and sat and like peed and flushed, or she went and peed and then turned on the lights, and she had just peed on a rattlesnake that had been sitting in her toilet. So that kind of reinstated the fear in me. And honestly, like, that is one of the most terrifying things to think about, because you are in such a vulnerable state at that point. Like, literally could not think of a more vulnerable place to be than having your bare area this far from a snake. So sorry if that freaks you out to think about, but that was like a giant fear of mine as a kid, and it still kind of freaks me out to think about, because sometimes I'll be going to the bathroom at night and I'll think about that, and then I'll think about the lady who showed the video of that, especially when she's pregnant, and I just still working on it. So what is your favorite social media platform? I love YouTube, obviously, because I'm on it, but YouTube is definitely my favorite. I actually deleted TikTok off my phone for a couple years. I just didn't think it was worth my time. I did get it back recently. I got rid of TikTok for a few years, so that's not one of them. Instagram is okay. I don't mind Instagram. I think it's kind of nice to see what people are up to, but YouTube is the one where I just feel like happy after I get off of it, because I watch a lot of like the same people, and I have for years, and it's just nice to catch up with them every week and see what they're up to, and it's just nice to hear that. What is your best quality? I think I'm really passionate about stuff, and I work hard for the things that I want. There was a lot of goals that I had in school that I wanted to do, and I accomplished those, and that was really nice. And my parents always said they never really had to worry about me with like schoolwork or ACT or things like that, because I kind of just took care of it on my own, because I was really passionate about the things that I wanted to do. What is your worst quality? Probably stress. Just stress about a lot of stupid stuff, and you know, that kind of stuff. Okay, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope that helped you guys get to know me a little bit better. I know those were kind of like random questions that were kind of out there, but it was just nice, and I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had fun putting this video on, maybe in the background while you're getting ready or cleaning or something. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, love you.